are looking right now at Spokane City Plow Map. On Tuesday, you may remember city leaders declared a full city plow. This means they work nonstop until the roads are clear. This map here letting you know the status of your neighborhood. You're seeing a lot of different colors here. Green means complete, so you see there's a few pockets of green. Blue means crews are currently working on those areas, and red means those areas will be next. So it looks like around Gonzaga's campus will be coming up next. Purple are the arterial streets where crews have already been working on since the snow began falling. And then if there's any pink on the map, that means that those roads have not yet been scheduled. So we'll keep you updated on that. In the meantime, we want to take a live look from the KREM 2 Storm Tracker, giving you a closer look at what conditions look like on the roads right now. We checked in with our photographer Nathan Brand about 15 minutes ago, and he was in Liberty Lake, and you can see some of the roads are still pretty snow covered, especially in residential areas, as we expect until plows can get to these areas. So we will definitely keep you updated here on Up with KREM if the conditions change and when they do. It's 8:02 here. Welcome to Up with KREM on a Friday morning. I'm Tim Pham. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick is keeping us informed on what conditions look like right now. And Thomas, you're tracking some pretty cold temperatures this morning.
Yeah, it's the cold temperatures and a bit of a northerly wind through central and northern Washington has pushed those wind chills not only well below zero, but as cold as minus 30 over Grant County and near Moses Lake. So excessively cold through this region, which has prompted wind chill advisories from the National Weather Service within the past 30 minutes. This is in effect until 10 o'clock this morning, though our temperatures are starting to turn the corner, but only just. In Moses Lake, you have gone from -9 for the low to -6 for a current temperature, but still -23 for a current wind chill. Single-digit wind chills, by the way, over Spokane and Coeur d'Alene at 3 right now. That's just what it feels like as you step outside and as you hit the wind. It's a bit more of a southerly wind, though, for Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, but it's the northerly winds coming through the Okanagan Valley that's producing those incredibly cold wind chills. We'll call it partly cloudy to mostly sunny right now, but expecting mostly cloudy conditions today. Temperatures no better than the mid-20s, and that'll be the case for the next several days. So that snow that's on the ground, that is going to stay with us for several days, if not weeks, because of how cold our weather is looking like through the extended forecast.
We do have a couple of school closings and one delay to tell you about this morning. Meade School District once again closed. The county told the school district that residential streets in Meade would not be plowed until by this weekend, so they decided to cancel school once again. Chapel's Children's Center is also closed, and this morning, Wilson Creek School District on a 2-hour delay. You can count on us to keep you updated on all school closings and delays anytime winter weather or severe weather impacts our region. It's been 19 days since 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in their off-campus home. Moscow police confirming there was a 6th person on the lease for that residence. We know that Maddie, Kaylee, and Xana, in addition to 2 other roommates, lived there. So to be clear, Ethan Chapin was not a resident of the household. And with the addition of these new details, there has been a lot of information circulating, both new and old. But what's true and what's not? Andrew Bartline with our station in Boise verifying what we know and what we don't know about these new details.
Since Moscow police began investigating the brutal murders of 4 University of Idaho students at an off-campus home on November 13, they have claimed it was a targeted attack.
Based on details at the scene, we believe this was an isolated, targeted attack on our victims.
We've told the public very clearly from the beginning that we believe it was a targeted attack.
On Wednesday, the Latah County prosecutor doubled down on those claims, saying investigators believe one of the victims was the intended target. But shortly after that interview aired, the Moscow Police Department issued a statement clarifying what they call, quote, conflicting information, saying, quote, we have spoken with the Latah County Prosecutor's Office and identified this was a miscommunication. Detectives do not currently know if the residents or any occupants were specifically targeted, but continue to investigate. And then Thursday morning, the Idaho State Police released another statement. We remained consistent in our belief that this was an intended targeted attack, but have not concluded if the target was the residents or its occupants. So at this time, based on the latest statements from Idaho State Police, this was a targeted attack. However, what remains unclear is if it was someone that was targeted or the home itself. Another new piece of information that's been put out there, Madison and Kaylee were in the same bed when they were killed. That's according to Kaylee's dad, who spoke at the vigil last night.
So then they went to high schools together. Then they started looking at colleges. They came here together. They eventually get into the same apartment together. And in the end, they died together in the same room, in the same bed.
However, the Moscow Police Department has yet to release that information, so we cannot confirm that officially. What we do know, police say 2 victims were found on the 2nd floor and 2 on the 3rd floor. We also know Ethan did not live in the house, but was there the night of the murders. And finally, nearly 3 weeks after the murders, we still do not have a suspect profile at this time.
The quadruple murder continues to receive national and international attention as police have yet to arrest or even name a suspect in the deadly stabbings. Among those in Moscow are social media influencers who cover true crime. Their cameras may be small, but Andrea Griffin and Olivia Vitale have a big reach, millions of views on TikTok and YouTube. The pair met covering the disappearance and murder of Gabby Petito. Now they're in Moscow covering the case on social media. These YouTubers say a part of their job is keeping the story alive as police continue to hunt for the killer.
Kaylee Gonsalves, she followed me on TikTok and watched my true crime videos, and when I found that out, that really broke my heart because it's just eerie to think that her life ended in a crime. It makes me want to spread her story, and I really want justice for her and her friends that lost their lives. This person got away with it. They're walking the roads right now. It could be anyone, and that's a scary thought.
Idaho State Police told KREM 2 that detectives are getting close to removing the yellow crime tape and clearing the scene. They have taken thousands of photographs inside and collected hundreds of pieces of evidence. ISP tells us there's still a lot of resources on this case, including dozens of investigators from the FBI. In addition to this week's vigil, friends and family are invited to a celebration of life for all 4 victims. Today in Idaho, the memorial starts at 11 o'clock this morning at Real Life Ministries in Post Falls. Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonsalves were both from North Idaho. Madison is from Coeur d'Alene and Kaylee is from Rathdrum. Fruitland Police in Idaho announcing at a press conference that Michael Vaughn's body still not found. This comes after investigators spent the last 3 weeks excavating a backyard where authorities thought he might have been buried. The 6-year-old went missing more than 2 years ago. 35-year-old Sarah Wandra lived in the home being searched at the time of his disappearance. She has been charged with failure to report a death. Police say they still believe Vaughn's body was buried at the house at one point and then maybe moved to another location.
You just need to trust us and trust in this investigation. We're making tremendous progress. We're comfortable with where we're at.
Officials say they'll now be searching neighboring yards and will not stop until they figure out what happened. Congress stepped in to stop a potential railroad strike just before the holiday season. That and much more coming up in your daily checklist.
And now, the Storm Tracker 2 Snow Report, sponsored by Platinum Mechanical.
And the snow report is good if you like skiing and snowboarding. All that fresh powder that we got from Wednesday and Thursday, about 11 to 14 inches of brand new snow on all of our area ski resorts. It's all fresh powder, a little bit packed, maybe a little bit heavy for some slopes.